Savannah's St. Patrick's Day celebrations will go on as planned despite concerns over the spread of coronavirus. It's one of the most popular destinations for St. Patrick's Day in Georgia with a huge parade. City officials met today to talk about it, and the schedule is not going to be pushed back. The celebrations are going to run from the 13th to the 15th, but people planning the celebrations are still going to take some precautions. They've arranged for more hand sanitizing and hand washing stations. They're also following the CDC's guidelines, asking people to stay home if they feel any symptoms, if they're sick at all. They're also asking businesses to be extra careful about cleaning doorknobs and light switches, even pens that people are using to pay their bills at restaurants. You know, the same pens that people might use over and over. Other businesses like State Farm, Time Warner are restricting travel for their employees. You can find out more about that in the As Seen on TV section of our 11 Alive app.